In this session, we're going to look at how we can correct improper triangulation, specifically triangulation where Civil 3D encounters a vertical face or a vertical wall. On my screen, I have a drawing that's open. Let me show you quickly. If we go to the Prospector tab here, the project that I'm using, this is Civil 3D Projects 01. What I did was I went into the project called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I went under the design folder into the corridor folder and I opened up STH25-4th Avenue.dwg. This drawing contains a corridor already. I'm going to simplify things a little bit because we won't be working with the entire corridor. To do that, I'll select the corridor. I'm going to go to Corridor Properties, and here on the Parameters tab, let me collapse all of these and I'll push this to the side. I'm going to take and hide the display of several of these baselines. The only one I'm going to keep is this one right there, the southernmost curb return, this quadrant. Let's click OK. There we go. That'll simplify things on screen. I'm going to do one more thing. Let's split the screen. I'm going to open the In-Canvas menu, go to Viewport Configuration List, and I'll change this to 2 vertical. I will then click in the view on the right. Let's zoom in. I'll go to the View tab and I'll choose the Orbit command. And I'll orbit this up. Let's get this on screen. This is the type of thing you could do prior to opening the exercise file. I'm just going to do it now so you can see the method I was looking at for solving this problem. That'll work. Let me hit Escape to jump out of that command. I'm going to do one more thing in this view on the right. Let's change this to a shaded view. And then I'll set the scale here to 1:1, just to change the size of the markers on all of the points in the assembly insertions. There we go. Let me zoom in over here on the left. And the surface has already been created for this corridor. There's 2 surfaces here. If I select the corridor and go to Corridor Properties, let's drag the Corridor Properties back over. Let me go to the Surfaces tab. You can see there's 2 surfaces that have been generated, Corridor Top and Datum. These were created from feature lines. We can see the names of the feature lines down here. I'm going to take this proposed corridor datum surface and I'll turn it on. I'll just change its style right here. Let's change it to Proposed Triangles Top. And I'll click OK. This way we can see it on screen. And if we look over here in the view on the right, we can see that the triangulation is incorrect. Even though I said that I wanted it to draw to the correct feature lines, you can see there's a feature line down here called Edge of Traveled Way, Sub, Curb, and Gutter. Even though I included that in the surface definition here, you can see Edge of Traveled Way, Sub, Curb, and Gutter. Even though that was included, it's still triangulating incorrectly. This feature line at the top is called Curb and Gutter Terrace. And what Civil 3D is seeing is it's seeing essentially the same feature line. It can't have a single point in the drawing with 2 different elevations. So it can't see both of these points. So it's picking one of them, and it's not correct. The surface should wrap underneath the curb and gutter and then come straight up the back side here. So to correct this, what we're going to do is create a new feature line that's slightly offset. We're just going to create a new feature line here for the curb and gutter terrace. We'll just move it 1/100th out from where it currently is. So I'll do that in this view on the left. Let me zoom in on the assembly that's being used for that. It's right here. Let me zoom in on the corner. This point right down here is my Edge of Traveled Way, Sub, Curb and Gutter. The one at the top is the terrace point. Let's take and select the assembly. Let me make sure that's all I have selected, and I'll go to Tool Palette, and I'm going to choose Link, Width, and Slope. I'm going to put this on the right side. For width, we'll make that 0.01. Slope, I'm going to set that to 0. Since it's 1/100th, it's negligible. It really doesn't mean anything from a design perspective. It's so small. But this is enough to push it far enough out to get that triangulation to be corrected. Point codes. I'll call this BOC for back of curb. That will be the name of the new feature line. Then we'll zoom in and I'll click to place that in the drawing. Perfect. If I hover over this code, we can see there it is, BOC. Let's close this, we'll zoom out, and then let's rebuild the corridor. I'll select this and I'll go to rebuild corridor in the ribbon. That created that brand new feature line, very small, might not even see it if we zoom in here. Let's take and add it to the surface. I'll choose my corridor and I'll go to corridor properties. And under surfaces here, let me open this up. I'll take the curb and gutter terrace point that was there and I'll remove this. And then I'll go to the features. I'm sorry, the data type menu here, and I'll assign this to feature lines. I'll choose my new back of curb feature line that I created, and I'll add that to the surface definition. I will then click OK. Perfect. We can see over here on the right side that now Civil 3D recognizes both feature lines. And if I select the surface in this view on the left and go to Object Viewer, I can tip this up, we can rotate it around, and we can see that that is exactly what we would expect that datum surface to look like as it's wrapped underneath the curb and gutter and then projected up along the back side.